Well, howdy there folks, and welcome into today's video. Hope you guys are doing great out there as always. In this video here today, we're going to get into a stock that I continue to buy call options in, okay? And I'm going to tell you not just what this stock is, but why I'm buying these specific call options. And I think today's video will be helpful, not just in terms of hearing why I'm buying certain call options in a certain stock right now, but understanding like how I put a bull thesis together and why I'm so excited about this stock, not just for the super long term, like usually I'm talking years out, right? But if I'm talking about call option plays, usually I'm talking 1 year out, 2 year out. So here today, you're going to get to kind of hear me give a bull thesis on why I'm so bullish on this particular stock over the next couple years. And this is a stock I also hold for a long-term investment, but I'm extremely bullish on it in the short term as well, okay? I talk about this stock every once in a while. Not a super popular stock. It's not a Tattooed Chef or a Corsair Gaming or one of those stocks we've been talking about a lot lately, okay? This is a different stock, but you have heard me talk about this stock a few times in the past. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, all I ask in return is that you smash that like button. That helps out huge YouTube algorithm. I never take it for granted, guys. Thank you for being part of the Smash Squad as always. And by the way, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Are you even subscribed, man? You got to be subscribed. If you're looking to join us in the private stock group, it's a really good time to do so, okay? We have 3 of our millionaire coaches in the private stock group. We're finishing up with students literally on Friday. So if you want to grab one of those open spots, one of those 3 open spots, I would go ahead and I would apply ASAP, okay? That will be the pinned comment down there, and I will say best of luck. We obviously have very limited spots for those coaches because they are in high demand, okay? Alrighty, guys, so let's get into this, okay? Now, first off here, if you're wondering what a call option is, okay, this is how it is basically told out there from Investopedia. A call option. What is a call option? Call options are financial contracts that give the option buyer the right, but not the obligation, to buy a stock, bond, commodity, or other asset, okay? Now, if you understand what a call option is, that definition probably makes sense, okay? But to a lot of folks, they're probably a little dang confused on that, okay? Let me give you the Jeremy definition of what a call option is, okay? A Jeremy definition of what a call option is, it's essentially a bet, okay? It's a bet that a stock will go to a certain price by a certain date. And the higher above whatever that certain price that, you know, is your strike price is, okay, plus a premium you paid on that, whatever, you know, the higher and higher it goes, the more and more money you make, okay? And essentially, usually in a call option scenario, if the you know, price of that stock goes significantly above whatever the strike price is, and especially when you factor in the premium you paid as well, that's when you really start rolling in the money. Why does somebody like myself do this? Or why would somebody buy a call option on the stock? It's essentially you can get a little more leverage in a stock, but not just that. If the stock is going to boom, you're going to make a whole lot more money than if you held the stock straight up. Now, the risk is, there's got to be a catch with everything in life, right? The catch with this situation is, if this stock isn't, you know, at your strike price, essentially you're going to lose 100% of your money. This is why it is a dangerous play, okay? Yes, you get that massive upside potential if things go right? But man, if things go wrong, you are in a real tough scenario, okay? And so as far as me in relation to options, it's an extremely small portion of the money I have invested, right? And I mean, like, I probably have less than 1% or less than 2% of my actual net worth in options. Probably less than 1%, honestly. I don't do a lot with options, okay? Let's just put it that way. What I'm showing you right now is my options only account, which is available in my private stock group for every single person to see every single move I ever make in that account. And this account was created to kind of not just, everybody can see kind of the option moves I'm making, but is essentially challenging me to take options a little more serious, right? I've never really focused around options, but now that I have an options only account, I'm having to focus more on it, okay? And the stock down here is the stock we're going to be talking about here today, okay? But essentially, I have other option contracts out there. I got these Corsair Gamings that are looking really good. I got these Cruisy Doozies that aren't doing so good. However, we know there's a new iPhone cycle coming here, and we'll see what happens. But a lot of times, those semiconductor stocks can kind of oh man, if sales are strong for Apple, all of a sudden those stocks end up taking off, right? So, this one is not dead and forgotten. It's expiring in January 2022. We'll see what happens with that one, okay? I have the Dropbox that are doing absolutely amazing for us, right? See, I'm making far more money on this than if I had bought the stock straight up that given day when I bought that, right? The Facebook calls looking very, very good, okay? I only have one contract of it, but my gosh, are those doing well so far. Tattooed Chef, I have 3 different contracts, all expire in 2023. And for the most part, you're going to see me play options that are at least a year out, if not 2 years plus out, okay? And yeah, the options account is off to a pretty good start. It's a rather new account, and so far things are going pretty darn good, okay? But what is the stock here that I have been buying those options in? And why have I been buying options in the stock? Let's get into that, guys. It is Winning Resorts. Yes, Wynn Resorts. So in terms of Wynn Resorts, I have started building a call option position in the stock very recently, and I plan to continue to build out a call option position in this particular stock, okay? So far, we're up to over $10,000, actually over $11,000 cost basis on this one. I put into this one so far, okay? And we'll go through the strike prices and all that in just a moment, and then we'll get into my bullish thesis on why I think the stock's going to boom over the next 1 to 2 years, okay? But essentially, these ones are 2023 options, okay? These ones are 2023 options as well. Way further out of the money on these ones, so I'm taking a much bigger risk. However, if the stock booms the way I think it potentially could boom, yeah, that one will be a big profiter, okay? And so Wynn Resorts is that stock. So in terms of the main one you saw there that I have a cost basis of over 11,000 in right now, right? Those are Wynn January 2023 options, which means they expire. Those option contracts expire in January of 2023. So I have some time to play with here. And that's very important when it comes to me in an option play. I don't like to put myself under a very time-sensitive situation. Now, if you are right about a stock in the short term, like I'm talking over the next month, let's say you buy options that are expiring in the next month, right? You can make a lot of dang money if you're right, but it is such a big risk because you need things to play out, right? In a stock like Wynn, I think it's going to play out, but I think it's going to play out over the next 1 to 2 years in terms of what I'm thinking here, right? And so that's why I'm willing to take that risk. Over the next month, it could, but it also might not, right? And so in terms of the main ones there, my break even on those is $138. So assuming I hold these all the way until January 2023, which is a decent probability, okay? I need the stock to be at least $138 just to break even. Why $138? Well, they're $100 strike price, and I paid on average about $38 in premium, okay? Remember, each option contract has 100 underlying shares in it. Very important to keep in mind, okay? So $138 is my break even. Now, if the stock is $100 or less, I lose 100% of my initial investment. So you saw that 11,000 something dollars I put in so far, and I might even put more, right? If the stock was under $100, I lose everything. And so that's the catch with options. Yes, if it goes great, you make a ton of money and you look like a genius, right? But man, if it goes bad and Wynn just, I don't know, if the Rona takes off again, or Wynn just, I don't know, has a bad stock price for the next 1 to 2 years, I'm going to be out of all that money I put in. So that's the dangerous part, right? At $176 in January 2023, I will have 2x'd my money, okay? 2x'd my money at $176. I think that is definitely a very strong possibility the stock is $176 or higher. And essentially here, think about it this way. The stock's been right around $125 recently, right? When I've been buying these options. It would take the stock to have to go all the way to $250, which would be a new all-time high for the stock, right? Just to 2x my money. Through these options, I only need $176 for the stock price to be to 2x my money. If it goes to $250, I'm going to probably triple up, quadruple up my money, right? But here, if I bought the stock straight up, yeah, I needed to go to at least 250 just to 2x my money, right? So this is the attractive thing about options is, yeah, if things go right, man, you can make a lot of money. But if things go wrong, I'm out of money. Let's just put it that way. Not out of money, but I'm out of that position of money. Let's just put it that way, okay? In terms of the other position here, this is essentially, the way to think about this is just a riskier play for me in regards to Wynn, okay? $175 strike. So here we're talking if it's $175 or less, I lose 100% of my money, right? Now, this stock has been, all-time highs for the stock is $242, right around there. I think there's a decent probability, I would call it about a 50-50, that this stock goes to all-time highs, if not higher than all-time highs, over the next 1 to 2 years. The business has more properties now than they did when they reached that previous all-time high. Not only that, I think Macau and Vegas, and we're going to go through some different things that are going on in Macau and Vegas right now, are about to experience their strongest years ever in 2022 and possibly 2023 as well, okay? And so, yeah, you know, this one, if all of a sudden we're talking about a $250 stock price, $260 stock price, woo-wee, or are we talking about some sweet profits there on that one? But much bigger risk because it's so far out of the money. The stock's been trading at 120 something. It needs to get to 175 just for me to start potentially getting close to break even. I need what, 100 and would that be $83.65 just to break even on the stock. Something to keep in mind there, okay? Now, what is going on with Wynn Resorts that makes me so incredibly bullish that I'm willing to put 5 figures worth of call options in this? And I might continue, keyword is continue, to add call options in this one. Well, truth be told, there's a lot to be excited about here with Wynn Resorts, okay? Look at this, right? Nevada casinos take in record $1.23 billion in winnings in May. You got to be flipping my flapjacks, man. The Roni has just barely started becoming a thing of the past, and they're already taking in this type of money in the month of May. Look at this. It's the single highest month ever in state history, blowing past a $1.16 billion record set in October 2007. There's such a huge pent-up demand for travel over the next several years because people love to travel, right? There's a huge segment of the population that loves to travel, and those folks have been forced to stay home. Now, not only that, but the people that don't even travel that much are looking at it, and even those folks are thinking, man, I would love to go somewhere. Let's go do something, man. We can finally start doing something and take off our mask and actually go enjoy life again, right? And so this is setting where people are flush with cash, right? And this is setting Vegas up for, I think, a several-year boom like Vegas has never seen before. A lot of those properties were built based upon some of these numbers that were coming in, right? And folks were like, man, these numbers in Vegas just keep building in. Then the Great Recession happened, right? And it devastated Vegas so bad that no resorts opened on the Las Vegas Strip for over a decade. Over a decade. They just opened last weekend. The first resort in Vegas just opened last weekend, which is the first resort to open in Vegas since literally 2010, which was, I believe, Cosmopolitan or the Palazzo, okay? That is incredible when you think about that. Vegas is finally getting back to the, Wynn and Encore in Vegas were never built for the type of volumes that have been, Vegas has been doing for the past decade. They were built for these sorts of record numbers. And this, in my opinion, is just the start. We're talking convention business is still nothing. I mean, convention business is still near zero for the Las Vegas Strip. Imagine this winter when the convention business starts to come back, guys. I mean, you're going to see, in my opinion, you're going to see month after month after month be a record. Maybe not month over month, but I'm talking the strongest in that month ever. December could be the strongest December in the history of Vegas. November could be the strongest November in the history of Vegas. January 2022 could be the strongest ever in Vegas. And I feel strongly about this because at the end of the day, you have such a massive pent-up demand for travel. And when the convention, people don't realize how important the convention business is for Vegas. That is what drives the Las Vegas Strip during the week. It absolutely is. Right now it's tourists. A lot of folks coming from LA, Northern California, Utah, Arizona, okay? But my gosh, when that convention business comes back, look at this, okay? In May, 2.9 million people visited Las Vegas, according to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, an increase of nearly 12% from April. Hotel rooms were about 71% occupied on average over the month, with weekend occupancy climbing to 88%. In my opinion, this number, by this time next year, is going to be well over 80%, okay? Assuming, I don't know, the Rona doesn't happen again, or, as long as everybody's shots work or something like that, right? This number should be over 80% at this time next year. And this number, in my opinion, will be 93 to 95% at this time next year, okay, in May of 2022. And so when I look at it from that context, because, imagine how many folks, not everybody just plans a last minute trip to Vegas, right? Most people plan this stuff 3 months, 6 months, 12 months in advance, right? Same thing with trips to Macau and just vacations in general. Generally, most folks have to plan it out in time, right? And conventions, all that business, that's planned 6, 12, 18, sometimes 24 months into the future, right? And from my understanding, convention business is already starting to book up for the fall time going into winter and then obviously throughout 2022. And room rates these companies are going to be able to get is some of the biggest you'll have seen in a long, long time. People are flush with cash and they're willing to go out there and gamble as well, okay? Look at this. July 4th weekend shaping up to be one of Las Vegas' biggest ever. Yeah, I think it will be the biggest ever, okay? I think this July 4th will be the biggest one in the history of Vegas in terms of the numbers across the board. Room rates, gambling activity, everything across the board. It's going to be absolutely insane, okay? Absolutely insane in my opinion, all right? We know the numbers have been incredibly strong. The planet's been providing us numbers, obviously, out there in the world, right? For the last couple quarters, and they say business is just looking booming. Like if you look at the latest Planet numbers they put out a little while ago, I don't know if that was a month ago or 2 months ago now. I mean, it was incredibly strong, right? And the CEOs of the company sounded incredibly bullish. And obviously, Planet is right off the Las Vegas Strip as far as the main superstore, right? So they're kind of somebody that would know, hey, how business is in Vegas, needless to say, right? They keep track of all that stuff. Look at this. Keep in mind, Macau is usually 4 to 7x what Vegas is. So Macau is actually even much more important than Las Vegas, right? And Macau is behind Vegas in terms of letting people come in. I feel like Macau's kind of in the place that Vegas was back in the winter time, when Vegas was kind of like opening back up, but not really, and it was still a lot of closed stuff, and you still had to wear masks everywhere, and it was still a weird situation. There's still a lot of stuff was closed. That's where Macau is at right now. And in my opinion, by Chinese New Year of this upcoming year, Macau is going to be in the same situation Vegas is in now, where business is booming and they start putting up huge numbers. You see things like this, right? Macau, Hong Kong, quarantine-free travel with conditions, right? And so you see these sorts of early movements that are going to hopefully help out Macau better and better and better. And over the next 6 months, Macau numbers are going to boom, because if you think it's just Americans that have been cooped up, ready to go travel and spend money, believe me, in China, those folks are ready to get out there and go to Macau as well, okay? That's just the bottom line when it comes to this situation. And keep in mind, even with the limited openings and whatnot, Macau casino GGR still was up 24% month over month in May, according to the government. These numbers are going to skyrocket, in my opinion, over the next 6 to 12 months as Macau gets back opened up to the world. And you're going to see some gaming numbers that I don't know if they'll get back to where they peaked at back in, I think it was 2014, but I think they're going to get pretty darn close in 2022. Let's just put it that way, okay? And so if you're thinking about 2022 in relation to, win in Vegas and win in Macau, I think this is a situation essentially where, we're going to be looking at, and we're going to get into another move I'm planning on making here. We're going to be in a situation where Vegas is going to possibly have the best year in history, in my opinion, in 2022, outside of some freak event. Outside of some freak event and another 1 in 100 year, Rona event happening, which is a super low probability. Outside of that, I think Vegas will have the strongest 2022 in history. I'm talking occupancy, I'm talking convention business, I'm talking revenue from the clubs, I'm talking revenue from the gaming floors, everything. I think Macau will also have probably this, I don't know if I'll say the best year in history, because they've had some ridiculous years there as far as gambling revenue goes, but I would say a top 2 or top 3 year in the history of Macau. And if that plays out like that, if we're talking the best year ever in Vegas, high probability in my opinion, and the number 2 or number 3 best year ever in Macau for gaming revenues in 2022, which I think is definitely a possibility, it's hard for me not to see Wynn stock go well over $200 a share, given that scenario. Now, once again, some freak incident happens, and next thing you know, Macau's closed, Wynn closed, that whole bull thesis right out the window, right? But assuming nothing crazy happens like that, there's a ridiculous pent-up demand for travel, and folks are flush with money and ready to go spend some money and go do some traveling, okay? And Vegas and Macau are two of the best places that benefit the most from traveling, okay? And so 2022, I think, is going to be a boom year, right? But here's what I'm also looking at. Essentially, in fall of 2021, so literally in less than 3 months from now, options will come out for 2024. not just for Wynn, but for many other stocks, okay? If for any reason Wynn stock is anywhere under $130, I will be an aggressive buyer, and I mean aggressive buyer of call options for 2024, because that will give me over 2 years for the story to play out, okay? Over 2 years at that point. Let's say I buy them in October of 2021. The options won't expire until January 2024. I would love to, if the stock price is under $130, I would love to buy $100 strikes, $130 strikes, and maybe even $175 strikes, $180 strikes. And at that point, you know, you could see me buy 6 figures worth of call options in that scenario, okay? But I don't think there's that high of a probability. I think when these numbers start to come through from Vegas over the next several months, and then when Macau starts heating up in the fall time, and especially going into winter and then Chinese New Year, oh my gosh, I don't think the stock will, I don't think the stock will be anywhere remotely close. But we'll see, and if it is, I will gladly be ready to load up on 2024 calls for the Wynn, and I'll take my risk in that, right? And, you know, a freak incident happening or something like that. But my gosh, I think there's going to be crazy demand for travel. It's already starting, guys, and it's just going to keep going, in my opinion. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you want to join my private stock group, the private Discord chat, if you're looking for any coaching from any of our millionaire stock market investors that are in that group, definitely check out pinned comment down there if you're looking to take your investing to the next level. And hopefully you can grab one of those spots before they're gone. Much love as always, guys, and have a great day. Don't forget to smash